welcome to
The Dark Files. I'm Emily Sweaters.
And I'm Kasie Cardigan. And our names are perfect because it is fall weather.
Fall weather.
Except today it's like 1,000,000 degrees out.
Yeah.
But it feels so good.
It does feel good.
I was talking about this today. This is one of our best falls
Yes.
yet.
It's been so much fall. Usually it's like hot, 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 and then it's like 40 degrees.
Yeah. Hot, hot, hot. Yeah. Oh, it's feeling good. Okay, guys. So I'm coming at you with a disappearance.
Ooh, I love a disappearance.
I know. This one's interesting and it's really good. Okay.
So I was supposed to have a guy come inspect my gutters. That's not a dirty joke, actually. My rain gutters. So I cracked my claw before you got here because I got bored. So
that's not a dirty joke. Thanks for clarifying for everybody.
Oh, no problem.
He's cleaning out her actual house gutters. Okay, well, I will go ahead and crack my claw. Crack that claw. Nice. I'm drinking a White Claw Black Cherry. Surprising for anybody. I'm drinking a Black Cherry White Claw.
I am too. I have 2 more pumpkin spice vibes, but I want to savor them for the rest of fall.
Why couldn't you just go buy more?
I definitely could.
I mean, I'm all about you savoring your pumpkin, but
I still have one Frisch's pumpkin beer left too.
Why don't you just buy more before they stop selling them?
Probably should. They're so good.
Yeah, you should just go get more.
Yeah.
And maybe ask Frisch's to give you something that's not a $7,000 statue.
They never responded.
Well, that's because you're not giving them like $5,000.
I would give them a couple hundred for some other stuff.
True. I guess they don't care.
I must not.
Okay, so I am going to talk about a disappearance. So when I was researching stuff, I'm like, okay, this episode is going to air the Thursday before Halloween, also known as All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows.
So I was like, okay, I didn't know if I wanted to do something like typical Halloween, you know, or if I wanted something different. So I started by searching Halloween mysteries or like Halloween murders. And so I found this article, and well, there's multiple articles. So this one, first, the sources is there was an episode of Unsolved Mysteries about this
With Robert
disappearance.
Stack?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the old one, and I didn't watch it because for some reason I thought Unsolved Mysteries was on Netflix, but there's only the new ones on Netflix.
Yeah, the old ones you can watch them on Amazon Prime.
Oh, so I should have went back and watched it. So maybe I will, and you guys can now have something to watch.
Yeah. Robert Stack is a daddy.
You should go as Robert Stack for Halloween one year.
Nobody would know.
Wait, I actually could because I have a new like trench coat that I wear to work all the time because it's like a raincoat trench coat and it's kind of like loose, and so I wear it like this, and my friend that I work with always is like, you look like one of those flashers in like New York City, but I'm not a flasher, I promise. I just use it to be dry at car rider duty.
Indeed.
Anyway, so a lot of my source came from Unsolved Mysteries. Another one, like unsolvedmystery.com. There's another one that's called the True Crime Society. And there's another website that I don't remember it. Anyway, okay, so I don't know how to say this person's name. So this is the disappearance of Cindy Song. Cindy was what she went by here in America. Cindy was born and raised in South Korea. Okay. Her spelling of her name, and do you know this? You're making this like weird face.
I don't know if I know it or not. Does it have to do with studying?
No.
Or cannibalism?
No.
Okay, then I don't know it.
Okay. But I'm very intrigued how studying and cannibalism are in the same story.
There's another story where a guy like kind of lures this I think she was from South Korea, like a exchange student at his school, like a international student, to his apartment and then eats her.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
No, that's not this story. Okay. Cool. But that could be a good one to cover one day.
Could be.
But okay, so this is how you spell her name, and I'm not saying it. I guess I could do the Google thing to find out how to say it. But it's HYUN space JONG space song.
Okay.
So I don't really know how to say it, and I don't want to like be culturally sensitive and not say it the right way.
Right.
So, but anyway, she was known as Cindy. So when you research it, if you type in Cindy song, that's what will come up.
Okay.
So Cindy was born and raised in South Korea. And at the age of 15, she moved to, I think, Virginia to live with her aunt and uncle. Then she later attended Pennsylvania State University. Penn State, as they call it, I think.
What's their mascot?
I don't know. A badger?
Go Badgers.
Are they a badger?
I don't know.
Oh. I just made that up. No, I just made it up. I don't know what it is.
So Cindy Song's at Penn State.
Yes. Okay. So in 2001, Cindy was 21 years old. All right. She's a senior at Penn State. She was going to graduate soon. This is October 2001.
Okay.
All right. She was studying art. She had an apartment. And she was working a couple of part-time jobs at a restaurant. So by all accounts, Cindy was a fun, social gal.
Okay.
All right. On Halloween night in 2001, Cindy and two friends went to a Halloween costume party. And the friends were Stacy Pike, Paik, and Lisa Kim at this place called the Players Nightclub. Sounds sketchy.
It does sound sketchy.
I don't know what it is, but it sounds like a strip club, but it's not. I don't think. It's just like a club. They went to a Halloween party.
Okay.
So Cindy was dressed up as a bunny.
Aww.
I know.
Like a Playboy bunny or like a
No, they said her friend made a point to say it wasn't. Okay, this is me changing the words, but it wasn't like a slutty bunny. It was just like a cute bunny. So she had on, I have a quote, what she had on. She had on bunny ears, a pink t-shirt with a bunny logo on it, a white tennis skirt with a tail attached, sheer stockings, brown suede knee-high boots, and a red hooded parka. So not like a slutty bunny. No. Just like a normal, bunny. Yeah, your usual bunny
I've
costume.
always wanted to be... Never mind, I can say that.
A Playboy bunny?
Yeah.
Wait, in real life or for Halloween?
Oh, for Halloween.
Okay. Like, don't give up hope. You can still do all of those things. You could be a Playboy bunny this year.
Being Axl Rose, Arthur, and Medusa.
What a combo.
I think I have enough.
Wait, where are you wearing Axl Rose to?
I think I'm going to wear it to that party I'm going to, a Halloween night.
And where are you wearing Arthur to?
It's work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to figure out I have to be a literary character. I called my grandma today. And I was like, can you make me a coat of many colors she's like, by when? And she's like, I was like, by next week. She's like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
You could be Arthur. Arthur's got books.
Yeah, I could read books. I could do that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay, so Cindy was a bunny. And a cute bunny. And if she wanted to be a slutty bunny, power to her.
Yes.
I don't care.
Whatever kind of bunny she wants.
Whatever kind of bunny. So the girls partied until about 2 a.m., went to a friend's house to play video games, and then went home. They dropped her off at home at 4.
Damn.
So I know. I'm like, wow. I don't even know at the age of 21 if I could party that hard.
No.
So the girls say bye to Cindy. She goes into her apartment, and then she was never seen or heard from again.
Did she live by herself?
Mm-hmm. She lived by herself. So that was, so it would have been the morning of November 1st that happened. She was reported missing on November 4th, 2001. So there's a couple of days that are just unaccounted for.
Yeah.
And then this is where I don't know, I was kind of confused, but it said they started searching on November 6th. So I guess they reported her missing, and then by the time they realized it, then they start searching for Cindy. Mm-hmm. So, also her family, her parents are in South Korea.
Okay.
So when they find out she's missing, they fly over. But I'll explain that more in a second. But just so you kind of know. So there's a few suspicious things about that night. On her kitchen counter, they found her fake eyelashes. So, which for those of you that have never worn fake eyelashes, they're glued on usually. And then the first thing you normally want to do is peel them off. You want to get them off your eyes. And so you usually just peel them off and leave them somewhere. Right. That's probably, I'm guessing, one of the first things she did. Yeah. Okay. Because that's how I have done with multiple fake eyelashes. Yes. But now I get extensions, so no big deal. All right. So she must have been home at least long enough to take off her lashes. They also found her backpack which she had been carrying around with her that night.
Mm-hmm.
So they found that in her apartment. Her cell phone was in the backpack. And I think this is interesting because this was in 2001.
Yeah.
So like before cell phones were huge.
Super popular,
yeah. Her friend said that she would never go anywhere without it.
Maybe were they bigger maybe in South Korea first?
I don't know, but I bet she's been in the United States since she was 15.
Oh yeah.
And then her friend said that even though sometimes she could be impulsive, she would never go anywhere without her phone or at least telling someone where she was going. But having said that, we've all been drunk. Well, maybe not all of us. At least I know the two of us on this couch have been drunk.
Only once.
Only once. And only one time. Ever. And sometimes things that you would normally do might not do. Anyway, they did not find her bunny costume or her purse. So I guess she had a backpack with her. Mm-hmm. The backpack was there. The cell phone was in the backpack, but she had her bunny costume on, I'm guessing, and her purse with her. There was not a sign of forced entry or struggle. So she, by what it would seem, left. Yeah. By her own will. By her own accord. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then, I'm excited for you to hear this detective's name. According to Detective Brian Sprinkle.
Oh, Detective Sprinkle.
I just think it's so funny. Detective Sprinkle. He said, quote, "We know that whenever she left the apartment, she was wearing the clothes she had on that night. We also know that her purse, her pocketbook, or whatever she had with her that evening had contained her driver's license and credit cards were with her too, because we could not locate those in the apartment." Good. End quote. So there was no activity on her credit cards, emails, or cell phones. So it was basically like
she just like totally disappeared.
Disappeared off the face of the earth.
These are like my favorite cases.
It's like it's insane. Literally just disappears. So and she locked her door from the outside. So she or whoever clearly walked out of the door, locked it, still in her costume, and that she wore that day, that night. So there was a 24-hour gas station, like market down, I don't know if it was like down the street or next door, I don't really remember. And it was not uncommon for her to go to the store like whenever. Yeah. At all hours, whatever. So what it seems like happened is she came home, maybe drunk, or maybe tired, or who knows.
Yeah. Threw off her eyelashes.
And then Cheetos. Probably was like, I'm so hungry, I have no food in my house, or I'm so thirsty, I'm going to walk down to the market, get something, come back, eat, and then pass the fuck out.
I did that on the rag at the UDF in Bellevue.
Oh, yeah. I did it not so much in the Bellevue, but there was, back when Hannah and I lived in Covington, there was that gas station up the street. And I wouldn't go there necessarily drunk because it was too far. Drunk, I would get Goodfellas. But, like, I would be there and I would go get chocolate-covered pretzels and, like, Diet Cokes all the time. Yeah. So that's kind of what they're, like, guessing's happened. Right. So according to her diary, she mentioned the use of ecstasy and marijuana.
Damn, sis, you're writing on your diary?
What? But can I just say, I applaud people that keep diaries. Like, I've been listening to the Office Ladies podcast, which, shout out, it's such a good podcast if you're an Office fan. And they would both keep journals and diaries throughout the whole filming, and they can go back to their diary and, like, read what they were feeling that day and, like, what happened. I'm like, I've tried to keep diaries, and I suck.
Yeah, I've never been able to do it with any consistency.
No, at all. I'm just, like, not. It's too much effort. Yeah. I already processed my thoughts. I don't need to write them all down again.
Totally feel that.
But for those of you that need to journal, go for it.
Great.
Okay, so she talked about ecstasy and marijuana, so the police speculated that drug use could be the cause. And her friends were adamant that the drugs and things that she was doing was typical college stuff and nothing of concern. Right. They didn't think she was like addicted to heroin or like would have overdosed, anything like that. Yeah. So another speculation was her mental health. So Cindy had been living with a boyfriend, and then they broke up about a month before she went missing. So her family, I think it was her family, speculated that maybe she completed suicide because she was so distraught over this boyfriend.
Yeah.
But her friends disagreed and said, no, she was actually doing okay. She'd recently started seeing a therapist and taking medication to help her, like, you know, with her emotions and process everything.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part. Is she also had a receipt for a computer, not this part, but she also had a receipt for a computer to be arriving in a couple of days, and she had tickets to see Britney Spears in concert in a couple weeks. So that gave an indication that she was going to stick around.
That would have been like Oops, I Did It Again era.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't the Oops, I Did It Again the red jumpsuit?
Yeah.
I played with your heart. Yeah. So nobody's missing out on the Britney Spears concert. No.
Those tickets are probably expensive.
Yeah, I wonder how much they were back then. That was my very first concert, was Britney Spears. Not Oops, I Did It Again, the Hit Me Baby. It was at the Timberwolf Lodge in Kings Island.
Kings Island. My first concert was Christina Aguilera and Destiny's Child.
Damn, you saw Beyonce before she was bae.
At Riverbed. And I remember I heard they were like, I had no idea who they were.
Yeah.
Because they opened for her, Christina, and they were like, Beyonce. And I thought her name was like Beyonce. And I was like, what?
What? Beyonce? Oh my god. My opening act was S Club 7. Remember that? S Club. They used to have the TV show.
Ain't no party like an S Club
Yeah.
party.
Anywho, throwback. Shout out to Britney. Hashtag free Britney. And that should be a whole podcast, is the free Britney movement. We'll write that down. So basically, they thought she was going to stick around because she was getting help. She had all these things. Yeah. So after a few days, wait, hang on. Oh, yeah. So at this point, Cindy's mom has arrived from South Korea. She's holding visuals and she's trying to find out what happened to her daughter. And then she claimed that the police were not investigating properly. And it was like this weird, it was kind of weird when I was reading one of the articles. The police were like, they let the parents come into the house and then they cleaned the house, which would have like got rid of any evidence.
Yeah, no.
And then the police were like, it was for Cindy's sake that we had to cut her family out. I don't really know. It was very weird and kind of bizarre. And I didn't research it enough, but there was like, so there was that element too of like with the family and whatever. So a few days after she's missing, a call comes in from a witness 200 miles away in Philadelphia's Chinatown. So I guess it's 200 miles. I don't really know. That's just what the article said. A witness claims that she saw Cindy screaming and crying for help while a man was pushing her into a vehicle.
In Philadelphia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that was what came up, but then over time and like interviewing the witness and stuff like that, they didn't think that was credible. So this is their only lead at that point. That is it. So time went on. So this is October 2001. Nothing happens, right? She's missing. In 2002, Unsolved Mysteries aired an episode about Cindy. And this renewed a lot of interest and led to a lot of new tips about Cindy. So, but it seemed like none of the tips really panned out. However, one tip led to a potential discovery. So, in 2003, a police informant who I think was also already in jail. Well, yeah. Or he was receiving sentences anyway. So in 2003, a police informant named Paul Weekly told the police that a man named Hugo Zielinski murdered Cindy Song. Okay. It's kind of weird. Okay, so Paul Weekly claims that Hugo Zielinski and a man named Michael Kurkowski, who, as a side note, was a pharmacist involved in an illegal drug ring. That's this guy. Spotted Cindy outside the convenience store, brought her to a house, had their way with her for days, imprisoned her in a vault, and left her to die.
Jesus.
That's what this guy, Paul Weekly, is saying.
That he No,
Not him.
Hugo and the pharmacist.
And Michael. Hugo Selinski and Michael Kurkowski is who he's claiming did this.
How does he know?
I don't remember how he knows. I think they told him, or like he was involved with them somehow.
Just friends.
Yeah, maybe. They're all friends. They all know each other. So this led the police to swarm the house of Hugo Selinski. Okay. And Hugo Selinski is saying, like, no, I'm out of town. Like, I wasn't here for this. Okay. Hugo Selinski, at his house, they find 5 charred bodies.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I'm not done.
Wait, oh my god. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have a ton of information. I almost want to do like a whole episode on these people. Maybe I'll make a side slice on this.
Okay.
So then, because by the time they were finished searching the property, they had found 12 bodies. 12.
Holy shit. 2
of them were Michael Kurkowski, the drug dealer guy, and his girlfriend Tammy Fawcett, or something like that.
Okay.
And then 2 of the other bodies were, like, in addition to Michael and Tammy, were like some sort of drug dealers or something like that.
Okay.
So the Michael Kurkowski and Tammy were presumed to have been on the run, so nobody knew where they were. And then they found their bodies at this guy's house.
Sad.
However, among those bodies, Cindy was nowhere to be found.
So there's 12 dead people, none of them are Cindy.
None of them are Cindy.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So it is believed that if Hugo was really the killer, the body might not even be there because he moved onto the property after she was reported missing. So she goes missing. Other stuff happened, like these other things happen, and then like he kills apparently 12 people, or at least buries them in their body. Like in their, not in their body, in their backyard. Yeah. And then, and I don't know if they were involved, like if all those bodies, I'm going to guess it was all part of like this drug ring.
Yeah. Like
that just seems like if the Michael and Tammy were on the, like presumed to have been on the run, they were involved in shit, and these other 2 people were drug dealers. Like, I'm guessing that's the thing. But, so that's why they're like, if he was the killer, we wouldn't know where her body, it makes sense that her body might not be here because he didn't live there. Yeah. But he claims, like, he has an alibi that night. Like, of the Halloween. Like, not even in the city. Like, somewhere else. He was trick-or-treating. He's probably taking his, like, kids out to trick-or-treating. No. Yeah. But it also turns out, so among investigations of Weekly, who is the police informant, it turns out when they were going through his computer that he had researched a bunch of articles about the disappearance, like knew all the details, where everything was and stuff like that. So they think he might have said that they were involved and to turn people in so that he could get a lesser sentence because he was already facing a life sentence and the death penalty for something. So he was like, maybe I can get this to. So it must have been at home then or wherever.
Wow.
So if Weekly or Selinski were the murderers or involved in the murder, they are serving life imprisonment sentences for separate charges. And the disappearance of Cindy Song remains a mystery. That was like, they had a bunch of little leads, but that was like their biggest lead, that and the lady in Chinatown. And nothing has come up. So if anybody knows anything about Cindy Song, so she's a female. She was born February 25th, 1980. She's 5 feet tall. At the time of her disappearance, weighed 110 pounds, brown eyes, black hair, pierced ears, and pierced navel, and was last seen November 1st, 2001 at Penn State University. If you have any information, you can go to the Unsolved Mysteries, unsolved.com, and look for Cindy Song and send a tip. Yeah. They're still looking. And you read the comments, there's everyone's being comments. So like, well, they didn't do anything because she wasn't Caucasian or, but it really sounds like they had no leads.
It is baffling to me. So there's a show on ID called Disappeared. Have you ever watched it?
I don't know if I've watched that one.
If you have a cable login, you can download the ID app.
Okay.
And then that's how I watch it, through my parents' cable. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But it's all about just people that go missing.
Yeah.
And there's like 9 seasons of it. And like,
wow.
It's so crazy to me that people can just disappear because we have so much surveillance.
Yes.
And then also, like, with all like the advances in like forensics.
But that's the thing with this is there weren't,
crazy.
I think it was before, so it's 2001, and I don't think there were as many, like, from one of the articles, there's like, there's not as many corner, like, street cameras and things like surveillance around, so she could easily have gone missing.
Yeah.
Because there's not as much people, like, keeping track of it.
That's so wild.
I think it's wild that you can literally just disappear. And it makes me wonder if it is, I would hope that Detective Sprinkle wasn't being racist.
The name like Sprinkle,
you would think he would sprinkle kindness everywhere. But I don't know. So, and that was like the other whole tension was between the mom and like the family and the police department, but they're like, we've pursued everything, we don't know.
Yeah. That's sad.
Isn't that sad? She literally is just missing.
Little baby.
Yeah. So, and it sounds like she was a great girl, like living her life.
And it's crazy because that could have been like any of us.
Emily, the thing with disappearances and like all these stories about human trafficking, which this could be a human traffic story. It could just be, I mean, not just, but it could be somebody murder. I mean, it could be so many things. But human trafficking, like, I think about myself and what an idiot I am sometimes. And I like to think that I try to stay reasonably with it. Now, there have been times where I have not been reasonably with it, as you can attest.
Yes.
But I'm always like around people that I feel like would keep me safe. But it's like, it just takes 1 minute.
1 second.
And you're gone.
Yeah.
Which is so scary. Nobody's allowed, if I ever have children, they're not allowed to leave the house.
I showed my mom this meme. It's Patrick from SpongeBob. And it's like, your mom worrying about you at 3 a.m. and it shows Patrick all worried. And then it says, you drunk in the middle of the road. And like, Patrick. I'm like, yep.
Accurate.
Been many a time.
No. But it's just so crazy to me. Like, you hear so many stories. Like, I've watched them on, like, YouTube people. Like, there's this case where this one girl's on a cruise ship. And she literally just, Amy Bradley, I think. She's just missing. And they think she was abducted. And it was sex trafficking.
I would say that in that situation, I agree that it's probably sex trafficking. Because they were on a cruise. And
it was a common thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild.
For those that don't know, you should look up the Amy Bradley. She was on a cruise with her family. They were out drinking one night. She went outside on the deck to get some air and nobody ever found her again. But what's crazy about that story was, I'm pretty sure it was this one, they were docked somewhere and they searched the whole boat. And then the parents had to make the call. They're like, we can't hold back the boat. You have to decide, do you get on the boat in hopes that she's on the boat? Or do you stay and get on land and hope that she's on land? And then, so they stayed on land. But one theory was that they hid her away while they were searching the boat and then brought her back on the boat. But then the part that is so sad is they hired a private investigator. Like, they had fundraisers and hired people. And then he was down there and just scammed them and was like taking all their money. And he would pose women on the beach to make it look like it was her, that he had found her. And then there was one thing where they said that they saw her like in a bathroom with this man at the door, like she couldn't leave, and like it's so sad.
People are disgusting.
Yeah. And it's so scary that it can happen so quickly. But I don't know what I hope for. I hope somebody finds her eventually. Maybe she has like this crazy case of amnesia.
Maybe.
And she's living somewhere is like a Hallmark movie and doesn't even know it. I know that's probably not the case, but.
Yeah. I always tease my mom. So, like, Kasie knows, but my mom is a little bit of a helicopter parent. Even though I'm almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
let's not give us almost 30.
We're almost 30.
You literally were 29 a month ago.
Okay, we were 1 year until 30.
Yeah. Push it off.
She will text me, like, I go to their house every Sunday. I leave around 7:30. She'll text me if I don't text her until I get home. Are you home?
Oh, that's sweet,
and then
though.
she, like, calls me. So, like, I always call her John Walsh. Do you hear John Walsh is?
Was that the guy that had the son that went missing, and he has that whole...
America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
So I always call her John Walsh, because she's always, like, trying to track people down and, like, figure out where we are.
I would love that, though, because I am the worst, like, if I'm driving somewhere, and my mom's like, okay, call me when you get there. Yeah. And I always forget, because as soon as you get somewhere, you're, like, busy, and you're doing something. Like, when I went to Chicago, I was, like, out for dinner, and then my parents called me. They're like, are you there? Did you make it? I'm like, yeah, I'm out. Can I call you later? I'm at dinner. But yeah. So everyone, always take your phone on you, or find my friends, share your friends, do whatever to keep safe. Yes. But that is the story of Cindy's song. It wasn't a really long story today, but
that's okay. It was a good one.
I'd never heard of it.
I've never heard that one either.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people have, because there are a lot of YouTube videos on it. I didn't watch any of them because I didn't want, like, how they tell the story to be, like, I didn't want to copy how I tell the story, but yeah, that's it.
Man,
I still need to do past lives, so I think that one's gonna come up. I just wanted to do a Halloween theme.
Yeah, that one's fun. I like that.
Since today is Thursday, by the time y'all are listening to this, it's Thursday.
Halloween will be in 2 days.
2 days. I love Halloween. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm very excited.
And this weekend, guys, we're going to a haunted corn maze.
Ooh.
Are we going to dress up, or should we not dress up?
I should dress up.
Okay, we're not going to dress up.
About it.
Yeah. My sister's like, are we dressing up?
We can.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should film... Oh my gosh, you know what we should do is we should film ourselves going through the corn maze and then put it on Patreon.
Okay.
I don't know how entertaining that will be, but...
It's like a Children of the Corn maze.
I've never seen Children of the Corn. You know, I don't like scary movies.
I know.
Which is hilarious as I researched disappearances and murders. But
so my sister, Lauren, and her friend Dylan, they have a podcast called Horror Hags.
Yes.
Where they watch... scary movies and, like, give critiques on them, and they want to do, like, a mashup with us, and I was like, well, Casey doesn't like scary movies.
Yeah. I fully support their podcast. I think it's great. I just don't watch scary movies. But I would watch, like, I could maybe watch one in the daylight.
Yeah, or we could watch, like a Beetlejuice, like a spooky but not, like, scary movie.
Yeah. I don't know. But now that I'm on anxiety medicine, I could maybe watch a scary movie. That was just the thing, like, growing up, I couldn't watch them because I would not sleep.
Yeah.
Like, I would not sleep at all. Like, those memes where they're like, me watching a scary movie that's super cheesy, I can't sleep. Me watching a true crime documentary, sound asleep.
Falling asleep to that.
That's me.
Yeah. Our friend of the pod, Sam Corduroy Sam. He hates scary movies too.
Yeah.
And I made him watch Us. And he did not like that.
Wait, is Us the one that I watched?
Yes.
Oh, that was fucking insane.
And then he texted me today.
I'm still processing that.
He was like, I watched Hereditary, which is way scarier, I think, than Us. And he was like, why do you like this? He's like, I had to turn it off halfway through.
I don't enjoy it. Like, I think I just have enough anxiety and worries in my just daily existence and thinking about, like, people dying and stuff, which is really sad, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if I can do that all the time.
Definitely.
I did like The Haunting of Hill House.
Did you watch Bly Manor?
No, the roommates are watching it. I started it, and then I just wasn't feeling it.
It's really different, I think, than the first one. It's a little slower.
Yeah, and I didn't think it was as creepy.
It's not, I don't think. It's more of, and I think the first season was too, but it's more of a story about, like, grief and, like, trauma.
Yeah, which is fine, but I also deal with a lot of that on the daily basis at work.
Yeah.
So I try to not deal with grief and trauma when I don't have
totally
to.
Understand that.
But no, I thought it was good from what I saw, and I've seen bits and pieces of it because Hannah and Jackie are watching it. But yeah, I don't know, guys. don't know how I'm doing this Dark Files. I just think it's so strange that I'm like researching murder and things, but I don't like scary movies.
We all got something.
Yeah, I do like aliens though. I would watch an alien movie.
Have you ever seen Signs?
I think I did a long time ago.
That's a scary alien movie.
I could maybe do that. I think I've grown up a lot. I've matured. Like I watched the X-Files and some of that could be kind of scary.
It can be very scary.
Home. For anybody that remembers us saying Home, season 4, episode 2.
It's the best episode.
It's like the most disgusting. No, the most disgusting is when they go to they're in the sewage plant and that thing crawls through. You know what I'm talking about? The thing?
What the hell is that thing? He's got a name.
I don't remember it. That thing is disgusting.
Yeah.
It is disgusting.
Ugh.
All right, well, that is it for today.
Yes.
It's not a super long one. Thanks, guys, for listening. Hope you're enjoying we're getting really dark lately with our murders and fires and disappearances. If you have any suggestions, you can email us at thedarkfilespodcast@gmail.com or text us if you have our phone numbers.
Yes, or you can find us on Instagram at Dark Files Podcast or on Twitter at the Dark Files Pod. I would say the Instagram is more active than the Twitter.
Yeah. We both do have full-time jobs.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
like today I was supposed to post about the Sauter family from last week. Like pipe it up on our Insta because that episode got released today.
yes.
And I was so busy at work I didn't. Imagine that. I actually worked.
You worked? That's okay. We'll hype it up another day.
Yeah.
We'll work on it.
We'll do it.
So thanks everyone for listening. Emily's got her tale next week.
Yes.
And we're not doing the best with it right now because life's been a little cuckoo, but we will start recording more side slices for Patreon. So if you want to, I don't know if it's like donate to our cause, but support the podcast. You can support us on Patreon. You create an account and follow, like, I don't know how it works, but you go to the Dark Files Podcast.
It's free to create an account, but it's
Mom, you should create a
to give us
podcast.
your money.
I mean, yeah. Mom, not a podcast. Mom, you should make a Patreon. Yeah. Or just Venmo me. Yes. Venmo me to pay for stuff.
We have about, what, like $30 in expenses per month?
Yes.
So if 6 of you give us $5 donations, we're covered.
We're covered. We'll keep doing this as long as you guys want us to. No, it's okay. But
so
I guess we can't really say case closed.
Yeah, just like last week.
I know. We got to start. This isn't great. I almost wrote in the case of Cindy's song remains unsolved, like from Robert Sachs and from BuzzFeed Unsolved. Because I love BuzzFeed Unsolved. Yes. They have a new true crime season.
I know. I seen it.
I need to watch it. Okay, so I guess
in the case of Cindy's song, we say
case
open.
Open? Close? Yeah. We're not going to give up hope.
No, we're not going to hope. Case is still open.
Case open. And especially at Halloween, stay spooky, bitches.